Indoor air quality is an important consideration when making changes to houses. It's addressed in both the Building Analyst standard and in BPI 1200. As with other subject areas, the treatment is much more comprehensive in BPI 1200. Let's get into the details. The Building Analyst standard focuses solely on air exchange through ventilation to ensure that indoor air quality is acceptable. The standard specifies the use of calculations based on the 1989 version of ASHRAE Standard 62. This calculation also matches the requirements in many recent versions of residential building codes. Using the blower door reading, the calculation establishes a threshold for determining if a house needs mechanical ventilation to provide acceptable airflow. The BA standard provides a detailed explanation of the calculations, including a sample scenario that can be very helpful to those who are just learning the process. BPI 1200 also requires ventilation calculations, but they're based on the more recent 2013 version of ASHRAE Standard 62.2. Like the BA standard, BPI 1200 includes a detailed explanation of the required calculations. It can be found in Annex I. It's worth noting that these calculations are significantly more complex than those in ASHRAE Standard 6289. Those calculations are explained on one page in the BA standard. Annex I takes 4 pages to explain the calculations required by ASHRAE Standard 62.2 2013. If you want to learn more about the details of these calculations, check out the course on HowBuildingsWork.com called Understanding ASHRAE 62.2. It's also worth noting that the newer ASHRAE 62.2 2013 is much more likely to require mechanical ventilation in houses than 6289. There's considerable debate in the home performance industry over whether the newer standard is too stringent, resulting in overventilation of houses. Overventilating can result in a number of problems, including summer humidity issues, winter comfort issues, and higher energy costs. A quick internet search will lead you to some interesting articles and research papers. The Building Analyst standard doesn't address pollutant source control, deferring it to the envelope professional standard. BPI 1200 includes a section about source control, though it refers to BPI 1100, the home energy auditing standard, for most of the details. Basically, it requires that auditors recommend removal of indoor air pollutant sources, isolation of attached garages from adjacent living spaces, and venting of all exhaust fans and clothes dryers to outdoors.